So over the course of a week, and especially these past 24 to 48 hours, we've had some new information about some SH Figuarts coming out from Tamashii Nations Instagram. A lot of this stuff is the pre-orders are dropping March 4th, and there's different release dates that I'll talk about in a second. There's some other stuff in these pre-order drops that I'm not super familiar with, like stuff from Kamen Rider, Saint Seiya, Ultraman. So I'm not going to cover that here, but I do have Tamashii Nations Instagram in the description, if you want to go through there recently and check out what's being released. So first of all, we've known about Kenshin for a while, but this is going to be dropping March 4th, and it's coming out in July, which is actually a pretty short turnaround. We've known about Kenshin again. A lot of people have been excited about this particular figure, and he does look pretty cool. King Cold is finally coming out. That pre-order is actually on Premium Bandai. It came out February 22nd. You can pre-order it now. Can't speak today. It is $150 US. A lot of you guys have been excited for it and are definitely going to be pre-ordering it. Good on you. I'm passing. $150. I know how big it is, and I know that how much all that's going to cost and all the different accessories. I gotta make some decisions. So yeah, that's just me. Still looks pretty cool. I don't really know if all these unique characters in the Dragon Ball line keep getting relegated to Premium Bandai, though. I don't really know how much longer I can support the line just straight up. But I do think I'll be trying at least to pick up the Goku effects parts here, this set. We have an aura effect, Kamehameha effect, an alternate head, and we also have a base that has some nice sand and rocks on there, an adjustable neck and different stands as well. Some people have had some problems with how things look on here, particularly the head sculpt looking kind of weird. We don't have the greatest angles to look at with this right now. I think it looks fine. Maybe could be slightly better in some areas, but I don't really hate what I'm looking at. So I think that this accessory set is pretty good for the most part. Okay, newer stuff that I'm not familiar with that I'll talk about real quick. This character is Sunraku from Shangri-La Frontier. Don't even know if I said that right. Pre-order is going to be March 4th, coming out in August of 2024. I forgot if I even mentioned that the release date for the accessory set for Goku is July, as well as October for King Cold. This here, though, I'm not super familiar with this series. I think I've seen it scrolling through TikTok every once in a while. Cool looking design, I would say. The way that they did it, from what I know about the character, which is nothing, just how it looks, they did a pretty good job capturing it. Nice accessories, overall nice body, and we do have some alternate faces with, this bird head, which is pretty impressive. So it does look rather nice. I wouldn't be picking it up because I don't really have interest in watching the show. But for anyone who cares about this character, you have an action figure coming out. We also have figures for Andy and, I forgot her name, Fuko from Undead Unluck. Again, a series I'm not familiar with. I've heard some decent hype for it. So maybe eventually I'll check it out. But I don't really know much about these characters right now. Only that, they're both coming out in August of 2024 at the same time. So you can pre-order these both at the same time. You'll get them at the same month. Okay, Romance Dawn figures for One Piece. We have Luffy, which we've known about for a while. We've seen this image here for quite a bit, and this is part of the video. We're going to have some decent time to talk about this stuff. Still looks really cool, and this is one of my most anticipated figures of the year, so I'll definitely be pre-ordering this. And it seems like they've made some improvements between this and the Wano version. And what I mean is, in this next image here, when you see the face, the more combative, angry face, it does look like we have a little bit of a better bend in the right knee. It does look like a decent amount of reuse, at least the trunks and the sandals, but I don't really mind that at all. It seemed like in the Wano version, the back part of that white cuff piece or whatever for the shorts seemed like it wanted to hinge, but like a factory error to where it just didn't hinge at all. I think it actually hinges on this particular figure, because when you look in this image of him with the eating face as well as the meat in his hand there, when we get down to seeing the right knee, it seems like that back piece is bending a little bit. I will say it still seems like it's a single joint knee that should have a better range, but still gets 90 because of the pants. I think that still might be better than what the Wano arc version was, because that didn't even get to 90. Here's another image of him pointing up to the sky, holding the meat again, smiling, open mouth face here. Really nice looking. Here's the thing. I didn't have a problem with the Wano arc version, me particularly, besides the knees. I have nothing against those Wano figures. I'm just not there yet. Maybe eventually when I get there, and then I'll be like, dang, I need the Wano figures now. But by the time I get there, they may be sold out. So I'm really glad that we're getting Romance Dawn figures, because that's where I'm at in the story, and that's kind of what me and honestly still a lot of people like resonate with when it comes to at least the looks of some of these characters. Then we have another image here of him with a more like squinted eye, smiling face. And you can look on this left leg and you can see just how much bend we're getting better there. Again, it's at 90. It could be better, but it seems like that piece is moving back or hinging at least. One other thing I want to mention is that it doesn't seem like we're getting gum effects. Yeah, they need to kind of fix that. I think the arms from the Gear 5 version are compatible with the Wano version and so forth, because there's like a removable arm with that Wano version. Nothing like that going on here. Doesn't seem like anything is going to be compatible. We need an accessory set of some gum effects in the future. I know some people have made some third-party ones on their own and selling them, so that's kind of cool, but some official ones would be nice too. We have a fighting pose here. Don't remember when he did this. I have really been needing to catch back up on One Piece, because I quite literally just finished the Arlong arc, which was pretty sick. But yeah, you could definitely get this into some really sick fighting poses. You saw different display options with and without the hat. We don't have the string to put around his neck still, but I don't really care about that if I'm being quite honest. Then we have this iconic image of him, bringing his arms up. That looks pretty cool. So yeah, I'm really digging how this looks. I'm also digging how Nami looks here. Really excited again that we're getting Nami, one of my most anticipated figures of the year as well. And I didn't know this. We're going to be getting this chest accessory, which I'll talk about in a second. So first of all, after that image you just saw, this image here, we have these more open hands in the air, her with a smiling expression. Looks like we get some decent range of motion out of her, especially in the legs there. Even though they're a single joint in the bend for the knee, it still has some pretty good range of motion. Her legs are a little bit skinny, so sometimes when characters have skinny legs in this line, they're a little bit harder to stand, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. She does slightly have heels, but they don't look too prominent, not like high heels or anything, so I don't think stabilization is going to be too much of a problem. We'll have to wait and see, though. I don't know if we've seen this exact pose, but maybe something similar to it a couple times. Her with the staff, just one arm or one hand pose with the staff in the back there. Looking pretty good. Overall, all the details on here look rather nice. And again, very nice to see this figure. And I can't wait to hopefully see a Romance Dawn version of Zoro, as well as Sanji and Usopp, which we don't even have a figure of updated in the SH Figuarts line yet. Really happy that we have this hilarious, angry expression here. That is really funny. She did this all the time. So glad that we can recreate some scenes with this particular face there. And then we have actual combative effects here. Mostly just a combative face for her. Two-handed pose with the staff there. So getting her into action poses and toy photos is going to be a lot of fun with this, I can tell. And now this image I do believe we have seen a couple times with some of the images that we've already seen of Luffy. But yeah, it still is a really nice looking figure, and I'm really going to be digging the posing. I'm going to try to get this and Luffy at the same time. They're going to be hard to get, but we'll have to wait and see how well that turns out. And then we have an accessory of her actually two hands clasped together, so then you would put the wrist joints together. Very cool to see that. The elbows look a little blocky here, but hey, this is an action figure. I know that it's going to have joints, so it doesn't really bug me at all. Now, the chest accessory has really nice paint on the outside with the wood and gold, and then you look on the inside with that actual gold. All that sculpting looks really cool. I don't know if that gold piece, is removable. If so, that'd be cool, so you could put some stuff in there if you want to. But it opens up, and that's really cool. You don't have to just use it for these characters. You can use it for like other characters, like if you have Jack Sparrow or something, or other characters. Maybe even Plunderlings, you know. That is pretty sick. With the tradition of, you know, characters coming with accessories for the main character of these series, we have a face, this really hilarious, big, grinning face with Luffy there. So that's pretty cool to see. Both of these are really sick, and they're going to be pre-orders dropping March 4th, with Luffy coming out in August, and trying to find this dates here, and Nami coming out in September. Last but certainly not least, before I pretty much lose my voice because I've been talking for a while, Itachi Uchiha Narutop99 version. Very excited that this is coming out. Some people are a little disappointed it's the top 99 version, so it's not going to come with really that much stuff that it should come with based on, you know, his appearance in the show. But I don't know, it still looks really good to me, and it comes with, at least from what I know of the character, it seems like it comes with what it needs to, especially the soft goods Akatsuki robe, which we've known about this for a while. I think they showed it off and talked about Itachi here a little bit in a live stream in the past day or two, and I didn't watch that. I don't remember if it says there's bendy wires in this, but I have reason to believe there is, and I could be completely wrong though. Here is this image here of him holding his sword, and then you can see the robe, and you don't get a good look at the open robe, but it is open. You can see, it seems like it has bendy wires towards the bottom of the robe, since it looks like it has some posing. Again, I could be completely wrong, but then somebody in the comments could tell me that it's obviously a bendy wire. Hey, I'm still sick, so I can't really process things super well. Anyway, this still looks really cool, even with this, you know, fighting pose, if we can't see the rest of the figure that well, unfortunately. In this close-up image here, you get an idea of some of the hands. You get to see what the inner lining of the Akatsuki robe looks like as well. I'm really liking how that material looks. I think that it looks, you know, it doesn't look too bulky to me. I think it looks, you know, realistic enough, but I do think, you know, with some soft goods, sometimes it has to look a little bit bulky just because it's a little bit harder to stitch all that. But it looks really good, especially how that inner lining looks. If you look at the cuffs there on the inside of the jacket, all that looks really cool to me. He does come with a sword and a sheath, it looks like, which is also really nice. That, you know, again, I'm pretty early in Naruto Shippuden, I should say. I finally finished that, you know, original series a long time ago. But I'm getting through Shippuden. It's a bit of a struggle for me lately because I'm very busy, but it's still, you know, from what I've seen of Itachi, looks like we got enough stuff. And these are the top 99 versions, so it's really based on the illustrations for Narutop99. But still, they're still coming out with some unique stuff that, you know, I guess that they need. They could always re-release a version that comes with way more stuff, but, you know, some people would argue we should have gotten that to begin with. But, I mean, that's just kind of how it is. Not that I agree with it. Here is a closer-up image of what looks like the Fireball Jutsu hand there. I assume you could use the young Sasuke's effect there for this. Probably would help if they release some separate effects in the future for different characters, you know, a different type of Rasengan, maybe a different type of Fireball Jutsu and some other stuff, so we can mix and match with different characters. But, I mean, I think, you know, if you have that previous Sasuke, you can use that for this. I do wish that it came with it since it has the hand for it, since it just looks like he's just blowing into his hands, you know. But you can kind of see how the chest looks there underneath the robe, but you get even more of a better look with this here. So this is him completely without the robe. You can see how tall it is next to Shippuden Sasuke, which I still think is a little underscaled. But this looks really cool without that on too. So you have all this unique sculpting underneath the robe. This is such a really cool looking figure, and I'm really digging the approach how they did. If it was a plastic cape, it would have just straight up ruined the figure. And I do think they need to implement more soft goods. They really should have done it with the Demon Slayer figures, but you know, I'm glad that this one here, they at least what they needed to do with it when it comes to the Akatsuki robe, they nailed that, if you ask me. So lots of really cool stuff coming up for pre-order, all on the same day, which is going to be a nightmare. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.